Mistrial adds to nearly a year and a half of frustration for people who live in the Palisades. Some who lost family, friends, homes, and businesses are still seeking closure.
NBC4's Robert Kovacik live right now in the Palisades with more on their reaction. Robert, this has to bring up some very strong emotions for the people you talked to there.
It really does, Colleen and Carolyn. And here in the Palisades, amidst the rubble, there are American flags and bunting as this community plans to acknowledge the July 4th holiday ahead. But what we have witnessed here is that not everyone was in agreement in what they wanted the outcome to be, perhaps, but no one wants to go through this trial again.
It's going down like a punch in the face. This has a psychological component to this where people are traumatized and they wanted closure. They want to know that it's over. There are two sides to this. One is the psychological side where people need to be able to say that a person caused this and that that person was held responsible. At this point, if the government is able to point the finger at an arsonist, that points the finger away from mistakes made, whether it's water and power, whether it's the fire department, whether it's politicians not being in place. There's a whole list of issues. This could have given them the opportunity to point that finger in the other direction.
This is an issue that isn't going to go away. There is no expiration date on the trauma that these people have been through. There are daily reminders of it that are inescapable.
And what you really have to keep in mind is that so many people we have talked to in the Pacific Palisades throughout these months, and now a year and a half later, is that they really do want to focus on the future. And now today, people are pointing us in the direction of perhaps hope. And that comes thanks to the Palisadian Post that has published an interactive map to give this community a sign of what the future may look like. And consider this. The Palisadian Post has an interactive map that says 1,076 permits have been issued, close to 2,000 have been applied for, and 23 rebuilds are now complete. It's slow, but it is progress. Live in the Pacific Palisades, I'm Robert Kovacik. Let's go back to you.
You're right, Robert. As we look behind you there, the traffic, which would typically be almost bumper to bumper out at that intersection, seems so light.
You know, Colleen, it looks a lot the same of what you have witnessed here. There are still just empty lots. There are still so much to be done, and there is still so much frustration, in the words of Councilmember Tracy Park. Frustration, disappointment, and the fact that people want someone, an entity, a government agency to take accountability, because that is what's going to help them move ahead. And so as progress, as slow as it is, they are hoping for some relief, and they are waiting still for that relief to come.
Right, Robert, and it's a long way from a building permit to a finished product. Robert, we'll see you again at 6. Our coverage of the trial will continue at 5:30. We'll hear from a former federal prosecutor and more from the juror. You can also find the very latest on our website, NBCLA.com, and on our NBCLA app.